All right, in this video, I'm going to go over solving absolute value inequalities. So we've solved absolute value equations, but now we're throwing inequalities in the mix. And so I'm going to go over, first of all, just solving the absolute value inequality in itself, and then I'm going to go into the wording. So we look at this, and we say, okay, absolute value of x minus 5 is less than or equal to 4. Okay. In order to solve this, we need to split it into two different inequalities. Always have to do that because just like when you divide or multiply an inequality by a negative number, the sign is going to flip. So there's going to be two different inequalities. There's this one, and there's this one. It's greater than or equal to negative 4, but less than or equal to 4. All right. Always make sure the negative one is the one where you flip the sign on. So now we solve for x, just like normal equation. Add 5 to both sides. We get x is greater than, almost forgot to add the 5 there. X is less than or equal to 9. Okay, that's part of it. Now we go to this side, add 5 to both sides. X is greater than or equal to positive 1, right? Negative 4 plus 5 is positive 1. Okay, so x is less than or equal to 9 and is greater than or equal to 1. That's possible, right? We can start with the lower number, right? And this sign is flipped just because we're putting the x on the other side, right? It's still true. Still x is on the side that this little alligator's mouth is eating because it wants to eat the bigger half. So it's x is greater than or equal to 1, and 1 is less than or equal to x, right? And now we put this on that side. That's the greater number, and x is less than or equal to 9. X is less than or equal to 9. Yeah, that matches. So there's your answer. But of course, they want us to put it in interval notation. So we put 1 brackets because it's or equal to 9 brackets. There's our answer. Not too terrible, right? All right, now let's get to the word part of it. Because even this can be confusing. And we're going to be glad that I'm leaving this example up here so that this can make more sense. Now, first thing I like to do when I'm given these problems is because the wording can be confusing. It says describe all x values within a distance of 3 from the number 2. Well, I can just reason what that is, right? Because a distance of 3 from the number 2, so we're starting at the number 2, right, on the number line. And everything a distance of 3 from that, 1, 2, 3 that way, and 1, 2, 3 this way. So 2 minus 3 is negative 1, right? And 2 plus 3 is what? 3, 4, 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. So it's going to be everything from negative 1 to 5. Hey, we just solved it. That is not what they're looking for. They want the absolute value inequality. They want us to solve it. So all I did there was make sure that I am going to get the right answer, right? Because I know these include all the numbers, a distance from 3 of 3 from the number 2. Okay, that's all I did there. I was just making sure I got the right answer. So I know that my answer is going to be negative 1 to 5. But that's not how they want us to do it. That was just using logic and reason. This is math. We don't use logic and reason. So when we're writing out the absolute value inequality, it's going to be in this kind of format, right? We're going to have x minus something, and it's going to be less than or equal to something else. some other number. Well, one of these is going to be 2, and one of these is going to be 3. Which number is which, though? Now, if you look over here, is 1 and 9, are they 4 distance from 5, or are they 5 distance from 4? 4 plus 5 is 9. Okay. 4 minus 5 is -1. That's not right. So what's 5 plus 4? Yeah, that's 9. 5 minus 4, that's 1. Yes, that's what it is. So 5 is the middle, the median, the number that we're from, the number 2. So that would be where the 2 goes. And it's a distance of 3. So the distance goes over here, right? So distance goes here. And the from number goes here. This is the distance from that number. Why does that make sense? Why did the numbers come out that way? Well, when you're taking the absolute value of a number, you're taking the distance it is from 0, right? The distance that number is from 0. This is an inequality. And we're taking an unknown number, right? And we're subtracting from it. So we're starting at, a distance from 0, and then we're subtracting 2, or we're actually like moving over to the right 2, we're adding 2, because whatever is coming out of this is going to be a positive number. Confused? Me too. But let's just do this and see if we get that -1 to 5 range. So x minus 2 is less than or equal to 3, and x minus 2 is greater than or equal to -3. Okay, add 2 to both sides. X is less than or equal to 5. That's part of it. Add 2 to both sides. -3 plus 2 is -1. X is greater than or equal to -1. That's right. Oh. So it's taking this number and it's including all the numbers that are a distance of 3 from that number. Wow. Just blew my mind. All right, one more example that's a little different from the rest. -2 times the absolute value of k minus 4 is less than or equal to -6. That's how you read that. So what do we do first? We got to get rid of the -2 first. We're not splitting it up yet. Because why can't we split it up yet? We haven't isolated the absolute value yet. That's why not. But we are dividing by a negative. We got to flip that sign. So we have absolute value of k minus 4 over here, but the sign has flipped. And the sign has changed here as well. -6 divided by -2 is +3. Okay. Now we split it I don't need the absolute value symbols anymore. K minus 4 is greater than or equal to 3. K minus 4 is less than or equal to negative 3. Okay. Plus 4 to both sides, plus 4 to both sides. K is greater than or equal to 7, and plus 4 to both sides. K is less than or equal to positive 1. Okay. Does that line up exactly how the other two we just did line up? No, actually, because we got this 1 here on the number line, and we're going this way. K is less than 1, right? Which in interval notation, that would be brackets around the 1 going to negative infinity, right? K is less than 1. And K is greater than or equal to 7, right? So it'd be including 7, and we'd be going to positive infinity. And how do we combine those? Say they're in union, and there's your answer in interval notation. So your absolute value inequality answers will not always be that, 3-segment inequality, or just the one number in between, all the numbers in between two different numbers. It could be an or statement, not just the and statements. Thank you for watching.